What's up guys, this is TampaTec and this is the Legends Ultimate Arcade. This arcade is sold out everywhere. Samsclub, Walmart, if you're lucky enough to find one, buy one. I tried to buy one at my local Walmart and Samsclub, sold out everywhere. So I reached out to Atgames and I was lucky enough for them to send me one. After watching Cool Toys' review on this arcade and Retro Ralph's review and ETA Prime's review on this arcade, I got really excited to get this arcade in my house. I'll leave their links in the video description below so you can check out their reviews. I'm going to give you 10 reasons why you should save your money for a Legends Ultimate Arcade instead of a 1-up arcade. Reason 1. It is a full-size arcade. No riser needed. It's already a full-size arcade at 66.5 inches tall. It also has a lit marquee built in, but the first generation 1-up arcades did not have that lit marquee. Now the only upgrade I did on this arcade is I switched the white LED strip for a blue LED strip, which is my favorite color. Two. Now unlike the 1-up arcade, it has two front-facing stereo speakers and full volume control from 0 to 100. The volume control is on the front panel. Just press and hold the down arrow on the front panel and it goes down to 0, and then press and hold the volume up to max it out to 100. Unlike the 1-up arcade, has a 3-way volume switch. Number 3 reason, you got 350 games in one, and this arcade goes for around $500 at Samsclub, $600 at Walmart. That ends up being roughly around $1.50 per retro game. Yes, some of the games on here are Atari 2600 and console games from Super Nintendo, but still it has great arcade games like Asteroids, Centipede, and BurgerTime, just to name a few, versus usually 3 games in one arcade for the 1-up arcade games. Yes, their arcade is cheaper for around $300, but they only include 3 games. That's $100 per game for a retro game. Number 4 reason, it has a rewind and save feature. That rewind button is great for kids that get frustrated trying to fight that boss and then they keep on dying. They hit that and hold that rewind button down and rewinds them back to life so they can continue fighting that boss. The save feature is also great because you can have multiple save slots. Number 5 reason, it has USB and HDMI inputs on the front panel. What can you do with those inputs? If you buy the Samsclub version, it comes with the blast adapter, which has even more retro games like Pac-Man and Galaga. If some of your favorite arcade games are not on this arcade, well, it now supports Mame ROMs, which is awesome because you could create a Mame ROM USB drive like this and add your own ROMs. And then you plug it into the USB port and it'll pop up on the screen for you to choose those games. 6. It has ArcadeNet, which you can stream their own ROM games from their server. Right now it's in beta, which is free, but later on it's going to cost you $20 a month. But their library of retro games are growing every month. That includes 5 free hours of streaming, but they also support local streaming for free if you download the ArcadeNet link on your computer, which is a little tricky, I must say. Now, reason number 7, it has an exclusive game. You might have heard of it. Fix It Felix. New generation kids will love that game, I'm sure. Reason number 8, it has Wi-Fi and Cat5 support. Now, you don't need internet connection, but if you do sign up to ArcadeNet, you'll get way more features and updates to make this arcade way better than it already is. Number 9, it has better controls than a 1-up arcade. It has high quality spinners and a high quality trackball, 6 buttons for each player, and 2 pretty good joysticks. And reason number 10, it has a big screen. Screen size is 23.5 inches diagonal. The arcade is 29.5 inches width. It is, like I said, almost 67 inches tall and 22.5 inches out. So let's take a further dive into this arcade and see all the features. Alright, enough with the settings. Let's check out the games. So scroll over to games. There's 4 categories: games, ArcadeNet, BYOG, bring your own game, where you can stream your own games, and of course settings. So as you can see, there's lots of games to choose from. So what I did is I selected a game, and then you hit C to make it your favorite. And right here, there's a star that's lit up. That lets you know it's now in your favorites folder. Hit B for back. And let's go to favorites. Hit A to select that. Here's all my favorites. They're all listed in alphabetical order. You have some games that are Super Nintendo games, and some games that are Atari 2600 and Genesis, and of course arcade games. So let's check out Centipede, and we could test out the trackball. And hit A again to select that game. Now it gives you the option to load your game save, and you have 5 game save slots. Hit start. Start is basically coin and start button. The trackball feels really nice. Just like an arcade trackball. And then hit menu, down to save, and we can save that game. You can also change the display to make it wider, bigger, which of course stretches it out and distorts the image. So I like to leave it at center or fit. They also give you an option for scan lines, which is great because it gives you that retro feel of a CRT monitor. If your favorite arcade game is not on this arcade, no worries. Just create a USB drive like this one and add your Mame ROMs to it. Simply plug it into the USB port, and after a few seconds, there it is, add on. Let's select add on. Here's all the games that are on the USB drive. Now it doesn't download it to the arcade, it just runs it off the USB drive. Now of course you can add your own images, but I got lazy and I didn't add all these images. Let me show you ArcadeNet. ArcadeNet works great, even the rewind feature works. Let me load that game save. So as you can see, the spinner works pretty good. It's a little harder to use a spinner. You can still use it though. And I believe the joystick works. Yeah, the joystick works, and the trackball works the best. And as you can see, the rewind feature works. If you have the Samsclub version of this arcade, you can have the blast adapter connected to the arcade and use the controls. The controls, everything that I showed you right here, there's no mapping, there's no configuration, which is great. But if you wanted to map, you just hit the menu button to map the buttons. Plug it into HDMI port and USB for power. And then select right here the green light, and there's the blast adapter connected. And as you can see, we have all these games on it: Space Invaders, Star Wars, the arcade version, and Jungle Hunt. Now, the rewind feature also works for the blast adapters, and the save and load feature works as well. You could keep the blast adapter plugged in, just select the blue light right here, and you're back into the Legends Ultimate Arcade. Alright, so back to ArcadeNet. Here's some of their game ROMs in their streaming library. Now, if it has a cloud next to it, you're streaming it. It has a down arrow. You could download it and play it off your arcade. But I think if you restart your arcade, then you have to re-download it. So it's only a temporary download, so you can get a little bit better quality gameplay. C for next page, you have Metal Slug games, Samurai Showdown 2, great game. And hit C again, and that's pretty much their list of games. Now mind you, this unit just came out this year. So of course they're going to add on more games later on to their library. Alright, so I'm going to play Samurai Showdown 2. That we're going to be using their server. Alright, so it loads up pretty quick. Hit start for coins. And then the latency is 56 and the frames per second is 60, which is not too bad. Now, ArcadeNet is in free beta, so I highly suggest that you sign up for ArcadeNet. Now, BYOG is what makes this arcade really special. You could play any of your games, well, most of your games, from any of these services. Steam, Origin, Blizzard, just to name a few. I have 38 minutes left of my 5 free hours of streaming. Every month, you're going to get 5 more hours for free of streaming. Then it's $1 per hour, unless you stream locally from your PC, which I'm going to show you. So if you click on Steam, it'll connect to their server. Now, my computer is hardwired to the router, which gives me a little bit better connectivity. If you want better connectivity and low latency, I highly suggest connecting hardwired using a Cat5 cable going directly to your router. But if you do use wireless or Wi-Fi, then try to keep your arcade nearby your router within like 25 feet. So if you don't see any screen, you see a black screen, just go to the bottom left-hand corner and hit A to left click. So I'm using my trackball as a mouse, and this is left click, which is A button, and then C button is right click. Left click to maximize the window for Steam, and there we go. And make sure your computer is running and has Steam running also as well. And make sure Steam has the option of remote play in the settings. Make sure you turn that on. Alright, so I'm going to play Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Now there's 2 ways to stream. Well, actually 3 ways. Now the 3 ways to stream is 1, you can stream using their service, their server, and stream to your computer. And your computer has to be on, and of course Steam has to be running, all that good stuff. And 2, you can actually download the game to the Steam server, which means your computer does not have to be turned on whatsoever, and you run the game strictly off of Steam server. And so they're running it in the background, not your computer. So to do that, you just click on a game. Let me show you, for example. So I'm going to click on a game right here. Oh, I hit menu and get the mouse feature working. All right, mouse. So now I can use the mouse. So say, for example, I click on Tekken 7, and when I click on this machine and I choose the option to install it, as you can see right here, I need about 76 gigs to install it. That's the space required, and the disk space available I have left is 102 gigs. So that's on Steam server, not this machine. This machine don't even have 1 gig of storage space. So I won't be able to fit this game on this particular arcade. So when it says install it, you're installing it to the Steam cloud. So your computer does not have to be turned on for you to play this game or stream this game, which is pretty cool. I talked to customer support at Atgames, and they really informed me about everything about this arcade. Now, I downloaded Marvel vs. Capcom 3, so my computer could be turned on, turned off, doesn't matter, I can still play it. Click on the down arrow, I could play this machine, which really means I'm playing it, straight off of the Steam cloud server, or I could play it off of my computer. So you get pretty much a similar experience. The best experience you're going to get, of course, is streaming locally from your PC. I'm going to show you how to do that. So click on that, play. And so if you do have Steam, they give you, I think, between 200 250 gigs of storage you could download to their cloud. And that's free as far as I know. So right now the latency 47 or 45 and the frames per second is 60 frames per second, which is definitely playable. Now if the screen looks distorted, what you could do is you could go to settings and change it to 1920 by 1080. Now you do have the option to use an Xbox controller. You just plug it into the USB port. That works. And once again, PC settings, video settings. You could do 1280 by 720p, 60 hertz. That works. Or if you want a better resolution, 1920 by 1080. And if your frames per second drops under 60 frames per second, you could try the 720p resolution. But as of right now, it works great with 1080p. And I have full screen. And then A to confirm, B to go back. And let's try it out. So the controls, it's pretty much instant. I noticed very little latency. So I could pull off all the moves, no problem, as you can see. Works really well. Definitely playable, and it looks great. And it's still running at 60 frames per second, which is awesome. Alright, so to get out of that, hit start. Let's go back to menu. And hit Y, I think. Yeah, right here on the bottom where it says Y, A, and B. All the buttons on the bottom are labeled A, B, C, X, Y, Z. And so they're basically the same on the screen. And that was streaming off of the Steam server using the Atgames ArcadeNet. Hit menu and go to quit. Alright, as you notice right here, there's no option for streaming locally. That's because I have to turn on the ArcadeNet link on my computer. That app is a little tricky to install. You have to disable your antivirus or add it to your exceptions in your antivirus. And I think the root is Atgames or ArcadeNet link. Either way, once you install that app, then you have to disable your paid firewall service. But don't worry, as soon as you do that, your operating system Windows Defender firewall will kick in immediately. And of course, you have firewall through your router as well. So make sure your arcade is connected to the same router as your PC. So I opened up ArcadeNet link. I signed up for ArcadeNet, put in my username and password and my computer name, hit submit, and it is trying to connect. Alright, so once I did that, and then now it's connected. To refresh the screen, just go left and right back to BYOG. There it is. And now select that, hit A, and it should be quicker. Yeah, it is quicker to load. And then now I'm using the trackball as a mouse. A is, once again, left click. C is right click. Alright, and you want to click on Steam. I'm going to open up Steam right here on the bottom. I have it on my bottom tray. Now, when you go through their server, it could take between 3 to 5 minutes to start the server. You know, once you start the local streaming, then that's going to be almost instant. Alright, so I'm going to choose the same game so you get an idea of the quality difference. And hit play. And it'll load, it should load faster. And it is. Alright, so let's go to hit that menu button again. I'm going to change it to game mode. Hit menu to get rid of that bar. Now my latency is now a 9 versus a 47. And my frames per second is 60 frames per second, which is the same. So as you can see, it works awesome. And it's free. So hit menu, and we could quit out of that. Let's go to settings, and in settings, there's your Wi-Fi. You can sign out of your ArcadeNet account, but I suggest always signing up for ArcadeNet because you get so many features. And then you get that free beta service for ArcadeNet. Here's your parent controls. My version is 3.0.18. That's the latest update. To update using your internet service, just click on A and you'll get that update. If you do want that beta update for the Bluetooth feature, it's only available for Raspberry Pi devices. Here's my arcade info. Arcade Play is basically the blast adapters. It shows you all the ones that are compatible. Privacy policies, joystick sensitivity, I have mine set at 4-way, and attract mode, I have mine turned on, 3 minutes, and I did turn off the sound, so when it does do that screensaver mode, it doesn't play any music. So guys, that was everything about the Legends Ultimate Arcade. This thing really does sell itself. That's why it's sold out everywhere, Walmart and Samsclub. I believe it might be available still online. I'll leave links in the video description below. But if you're considering a 1-Up arcade versus a Legends Ultimate Arcade, definitely save up for a Legends Ultimate Arcade. 1-Up yours. I got a Legends Ultimate Arcade and I love it. It has so many amazing features. My favorite feature is definitely the feature that you can add your own Mame ROMs. And streaming to my Steam games is amazing. So that's everything I know about the Legends Ultimate Arcade. Of course, there's more updates, more features being unlocked every month, which is awesome. They have great customer service. So if you have suggestions, go ahead and follow them on Facebook and Instagram. They will listen. This went far beyond my expectations. Usually when I get a product, it's pretty much what I expect it to do, but this is far and beyond what I expected to do. Guys, if you find this video informative, give me a big thumbs up. If you know anyone that may be interested in arcades or retro games, go ahead and click on the share button below and share this video to them, help someone out. Subscribe, hit that bell notification to stay updated on the latest videos. Later guys.